Ha ha! You expected an episode of Hell in the Cell. But it was actually I, Dio. That joke was lame.
I hate you, James.
I know, I hate myself too. I thought that up right before we started recording.
I can tell.
Shut up. Okay, Mariya, what did we watch?
We watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. We watched 3 episodes, the first 3 episodes.
Yep. That forms an arc every 3 episodes.
Yeah, it was a good selection, yeah.
Yeah, I like when anime series do that. When they have 3 episodes. Madoka did that.
It did, yes. Let's not go there.
Next anime... not in anime August. Next anime April. Nope, wait. Nope. Not next anime April. I already planned that one out. Anime August in 2020?
Yes, sure.
Is when we'll watch Madoka.
Sorry for all those Madoka fans out there.
I mean, we're part of that group, right?
Yes, but we're also not the ones. We're also the ones who are making this podcast, so
unfortunately,
we're not supposed to apologize to ourselves. That's
guess.
Just weird. Anyway,
sure.
Let's get back to JoJo.
Yes, we watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 1, The Phantom Blood, Season 1, Episode 1, 2, and 3, Dio the Invader, A Letter from the Past, and Youth with Dio. Original air dates October 6th, October 13th, and October 20th, 2012. Remember 2012, Mariya?
I do. It was the time when that movie said the world was supposed to end, but now instead it's going to end in the next 10 years from today.
Way to bring the mood down. Way to bring the mood down, because you're right. Where are all the crazy people when we need them?
Anyway, written by
Yasuko Kobayashi. Storyboards by Naokatsu Suda, Toshiyuki Kato, and Futoshi Higashide.
Yes.
I'm trying my best here.
I'm not saying anything. Continue.
Directed by Kota Okuno, Toshiyuki Kato, and Futoshi Higashide.
I don't know any of these people.
I mean, they're anime directors. Why would you know them?
That's fair.
All right, Mariya, give us the summary.
Okay, so I'm not going to separate them out into episodes. I'm just going to recap all 3 together into a mush summary.
Just do stream of consciousness.
Yes, that sounds okay. We start off with the carrot scene where Dio's father finds JoJo's dad and tries to steal his ring, but instead JoJo's dad wakes up and thinks that he's being saved by this man who just tried to rob him and tells him that he owes him a favor. Fast forward to now when JoJo is, according to Wikipedia, 12 years old, which does not make any sense, but
that was weird.
We have a few scenes of JoJo being a rich kid and saving a girl from street urchins. Parallel with Dio's life, where his father is basically yelling at his face, and then him at a bar trying to earn money by playing chess and winning. And then fast forward again to Dio's father sending him to Joseph Joestar?
That's the dad.
George Joestar. Joseph is it Joseph or is it George?
Joseph.
Okay. Anyway, to JoJo's father,
Joseph?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Right. To basically sends him to JoJo's father so that he can usurp JoJo and get all the money. Jojo and Dio have a sort of contentious introduction with Jojo punching, with Dio punching Jojo's dog, and then punching Jojo when Jojo tries to help him with his luggage. And then also, if you fast forward, beating the shit out of Jojo in a boxing match, and then essentially trying to isolate Jojo from everyone else around him. And when Dio finds out that Jojo is basically spending a lot of time with, what was her name?
Arena,
yes. Arena, he kisses Arena, and Arena does this super awesome thing and tries to clean her face of Dio's cooties by like by washing her face in a puddle.
a mud puddle.
A mud puddle, that too. Yeah, not even just a puddle, just a mud puddle. And then what happens after that? Oh yeah, Jojo beats Dio because he finds out that he disrespected Irina. And then 7 years later, after that whole scene, yes, after Jojo beats Dio basically roasts Jojo's dog.
God.
Which is a very, very sad scene.
Poor
7
Danny.
years later, we see Jojo and Dio playing football, American football.
Something.
And something similar to American football, whatever it was in the 1800s. And basically pretending to be friends when both of them do not trust the other person and Dio is still evil. Then we find out that Jojo's father is sick, and then we find out that Dio is poisoning Jojo's father. Jojo goes to Ogre Alley, which is supposed to be a very dangerous alley, to find the antidote for the poison, and make some friends along the way by beating the shit out of them, but then not killing them, and therefore they're like, oh, you didn't kill us, even though we wanted to kill you. We're friends now.
It's not the adventure, it's the friends you make along the way.
Yeah. And Dio finds out about the mask. Well, they both find out about the mask, but Dio actually decides to use the mask to kill Jojo. Instead, ends up using the mask on a drunk man and finding out that it makes you a vampire, and essentially ruining all of his plans. Such plans.
Many plans.
And then Jojo finds enough evidence to prove that Dio poisoned his father, brings the antidote home, gives the antidote to his father, and is trying to arrest Dio, but then Dio stabs at Jojo, and his father comes in the way. So essentially Dio literally backstabs Jojo's dad, uses the blood to activate the mask on himself, and becomes a vampire monster that tries to kill everyone. Well, it kills all the police officers, and then Jojo sets the house on fire and tries to kill Dio in the house fire, and he thinks he's killed Dio in the house fire, but Dio survives.
Yep.
Ding, 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 ding. To be continued.
There you go.
Yep. Essentially.
Yeah.
That was a long recap.
I mean, it was 3 whole episodes.
Yes, it was. It was 3 whole episodes.
All right. So this show, based on the, well, I mean, it's the hit manga in Japan, and it's been a hit since it started.
Okay.
Ooh, should I give like a brief overview of like the history of the manga?
Sure.
Because it's kind of interesting.
Okay, wait. We should first make this distinction.
Okay.
I am new to JoJo. I have not seen it. James has read the manga and is all caught up with the anime. Yes?
No, I haven't really watched the anime actually.
Oh, you have not watched the anime.
Not
Okay,
really.
so he has read the manga, but
Yes.
not really watched the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And is now going to enlighten everyone with the history of this manga story. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So it all starts back in the 80s, all right? With a little movie called Mad Max. Do you know Mad Max, Mariya?
No.
Oh. We're off to a great start. Okay, it all starts off with a manga in the 80s called Fist of the North Star,
Okay.
which is based on this movie called Mad Max, starring a horrible man, Mel Gibson.
Okay.
Do you know who Mel Gibson is?
No,
God,
but continue.
God damn it.
I'm pretty sure everyone else does. Just
Yeah.
because I'm younger and do not know anything about this doesn't mean that nobody else does.
Anyway, based on the character Mad Max in this movie, guy robes around a post-apocalypse beating up men using kung fu where their heads explode.
Amazing.
It's violent, it's manly, there's not a lot of depth to it, but it was super mega popular.
Okay.
And it inspired a lot of copycats.
Okay.
One of those copycats was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And at this point in manga history, most manga are focused on big burly men doing big burly things with their big burly fists. It was a very shallow environment where men punched other men and men exploded, and it was a lot of violence and sex and just yeah. It was a great time to be alive.
Uh-huh.
But most of those series have gone off into obscurity, except for Fist of the North Star. But one little series kind of remained, which was JoJo's, which instead of just trying to keep copying the formula of Fist of the North Star into oblivion, changed because the author is a really talented artist. Like, honestly, he's a very fantastic artist, even if his knowledge of anatomy is
Slightly askewed.
slightly colored
Uh-huh.
by, I don't even know, honestly. But this guy, he managed to keep his series around well after the boom of manga that are just about burly men punching other burly men went away, and managed to transition it into something else and keep going with this formula until eventually people recognized it and were just like, oh, there's this series that's been running for a long time that's really, really good.
Right.
And it became kind of a big cultural hit in Japan.
Interesting.
It's only now, as in like really recently, where the West has finally gotten hold of it.
Right.
And everybody's like, holy crap, this is amazing.
See, I was introduced to JoJo's Bizarre Adventures because my brother couldn't stop making the stupid Dio joke every single time.
Okay, we should also probably address that. JoJo's is a series built upon memes.
Well, I don't know if memes are built upon JoJo or if JoJo is built upon memes. Like, I don't know which preceded the other.
You don't know where the Ouroboros began in this sense.
I don't know if it was which was the first egg, whether it was the egg or the chicken. Beats me.
Who
But
knows?
god damn it, I found like 2 memes in the 3 episodes that we watched, and that's already too many.
Yep, and it only gets more and more.
God.
It's an infinitely memeable series,
It seems like
I
it.
guess.
Also, to note the fact that when I heard of the series, because my brother would not stop talking about it, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, I thought the art style was very different. Like in my head, I was thinking like Totoro type art style or something like
No.
that. And then I saw this and I was like, what? My brain could not comprehend. It could not do that 180 flip that it needed to do to understand what was happening. There was some real cognitive dissonance going on over there.
No. Early
Before
JoJo
my
is a
brain accepted it.
no. Early JoJo is a very rough. Has a very rough art style. Not rough as in bad, but just like very like sharp, detailed, and very of the 80s in the
It
beginning.
looks really good though. I like the bold sort of outline.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really cool. The shading is great.
Yeah, you can really tell that the people that made this are fans of the series
Okay.
due to a lot of their choices. Mm-hmm. Because JoJo has been adapted before, once.
Okay.
Before in it was very unsuccessful, and it's generally regarded as pretty poor. But it was like the only, and it was, and it's the only JoJo anime that was out there for the longest time until now. So people gravitated towards it. But now that we have this, it's like, and you look at it and you look at the manga, you see the influences, the bold color choices, which is definitely the author's style. If you look at like color pages that he draws of the manga, there's never a consistent color palette. Like characters, they have consistent designs, but he'll just change their hair color, the color of their lips.
Right.
They're just like the color of their clothes. He doesn't care. If it looks good, he's gonna make it. He's gonna do it.
Right. And he does that a lot even in the, like, I mean, they do it a lot in the anime too.
Right.
Because every now and again, the colors will be very different than their actual supposed character design colors.
Yeah.
The only thing which is really interesting is that they always maintain the eye color. Mostly, I didn't quite count all the scenes that they did that, but most of the time they maintained, at least Dio's eye colors are always like red or orange. I don't remember if they keep JoJo's eyes same the whole time.
His are blue,
But
right?
yeah, his are blue. Like the orange eyes stand out quite a bit. So I remember that most of the time, even when they changed the color scheme, his eyes remained orange. Again, most of the time, I didn't sit and count all the frames that Dio's eyes were in.
Right. But you notice the consistent thing, which is
Yeah, the consistency was there. And I mean, his eyes are very stark, and you can tell he's the villain already because his eyes are red.
they're it's slanted, small, whereas JoJo's are big and
cat-like and like evil and sort of pointy at the edges, whereas JoJo's eyes are like round and big and like innocent,
yeah,
quote unquote.
If you want a primer on that, just watch Wall-E.
God. But again, what's interesting is the way that they introduce both these characters. Because in the start, like when you first start off, I was so much more sympathetic towards Dio because of the way that they introduce him. even though it flips completely within the first, like after that whole section where they're doing like parallels of both their lives. And then when Dio comes over to the Joestar Manor, so up until then I was like, oh, this poor kid. And then with JoJo I was like, oh my gosh, you brat. And then Dio comes over and then he jumps out of that carriage like that. And I was like, nope, no, these two, I swear. I was so done. I was like, okay. We're at the extra station now and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, exactly. Mariya, why don't you explain what extra is?
What extra means?
In this context.
Or what did they do that's extra? I have a whole list of things that is about the show that is extra.
I mean, if the floor
extra
is yours.
Essentially just over the top in every sense. So the posing, the flourishes.
That's from the manga.
Yeah.
That is
Okay, so I have a list of things that make this thing very extra, okay?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. We got curtains and curtain entrances. We got capes and cape flourishes. We got dialogues and monologuing. Consistent monologuing. Out, like not even like in your head monologuing, like verbally. We've got very, very creative or extra cursing. The camera movement and the effects of the camera movement. So like the whooshing sounds and the you know those white streaks that come out at the edge to show the camera movement.
Yep.
That. Okay.
Action
and then,
lines.
Quote, such plans, unquote.
You do have
Dio walking up the wall like it's a catwalk.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
For now. I don't remember more. That's all I've written down.
What do we address first?
All of it.
Okay. But that doesn't answer the question.
Well, that's how I've written stuff down. It's curtains, capes. Like that's the order. We can address it in the order that I have written it. That is also fine.
There's just a curtain entrance.
Oh my god.
Like the wipe and thing. It's just with the curtain.
Yeah, they like pull back the curtain and there's like JoJo's father standing right behind the curtain.
The camera just cuts to a curtain which pulls back to reveal JoJo's father.
And policemen.
Policemen.
And there was more than one curtain flourish. So and then when Dio is trying to find JoJo and what was that other dude's name?
Speedwagon.
Speedwagon, yes. So he pulls out the curtain and there's just fire behind it. I'm like, God damn it. Even the fire needs a freaking extra entry is what it is.
Even the fire needs an entrance.
Oh my god.
Yes, everything is just over the top in this series.
Okay. After curtains, we got capes. Especially, god damn it, that cape with the feathers on it. Okay. Really, Dio?
Look.
Really?
Look. Araki loves fashion. That's the other thing. He's had like fashion shows like take his designs and make them real.
Oh.
Like he loves fashion.
I mean, you can see that.
Yes.
For sure.
You can.
It's also like very weaponized fashion too, seeing as the hat has knives on it. I mean, I'd buy that shit, but I don't have anyone to use it on, so I suppose I'll just keep it.
Freaking Speedwagon.
I know, right? Speedwagon, just like.
God, he'll never be important.
Taps on his hat. I mean, he kind of saved his life. Sort of. I mean, JoJo's a naive little man, but nobody can save him from that. That's his fatal flaw.
Yeah, Should we talk about the characters? Actually,
Sure.
is that a good transition? Because,
Yeah.
the general consensus is that part 1, The Phantom Blood of JoJo, that follows Jonathan and Dio's story, is one of the weakest chapters, or the weakest
Oh, really?
chapter. Yeah. Yeah, it's generally considered the weakest one.
Why is that?
I mean, it was the first one, and like I said, it was following a trend
Right.
in the beginning. It didn't really catch its own like groove until later on. And this also doesn't have any stands abilities, which are the staple of the series. You know what stands are, right?
Well, you told me about them.
Oh, right. I forgot I told you.
Yes.
Later in part 3, Araki was just like, I don't know how to make this interesting anymore, so I'm gonna change up the formula. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna turn my characters into psychics. But how do I make them interesting? Because psychic powers are boring. So I'm gonna have weirdly designed creatures stand behind the characters and personify their psychic powers.
That is super cool, though. That's very interesting.
It is. I mean, he's taken it to so many different extremes that the extremes have their own extremes now.
Oh my god. This dude.
This
dude should just have extra tattooed on his back, man.
He does. Because when he was doing this, he was like, okay, I have psychics fighting vampires. But what about Prince? What about David Bowie, Mariya? What about David Bowie? What about David Bowie, damn it? And Vanilla Ice.
God.
What about Vanilla Ice?
Oh no.
There's seriously a character called Vanilla Ice in this series.
I know, you told me about that too.
He loves music. And so all of his characters are music references.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel kind of sad that I don't understand these because I was not around. Around is the right word. I was not around.
I mean, they haven't gone away, Mariya.
I know, but like it's different when you're actually in that kind of space with that kind of stuff playing around on the radio and stuff.
I guess so.
Than to actually go around and search for it.
I mean, he dips into some modern stuff. There is a Rihanna song referenced in part 8.
Amazing.
So there you go. You know who Rihanna is, right?
Yes, of course. I don't live under a rock. Jeez.
And yet you don't know who Ronnie James Dio is.
I don't know.
Or Ario Speedwagon.
Nope.
It's fine. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. Where was I going with this?
You were talking about references.
Oh. A lot of things are references in this series. Yeah, pretty much every character is a reference to something. Which, lazy writing or creative writing? You be the judge.
Mean, he was trying to write in the stuff that he liked, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
He likes.
To be fair, it would actually even resonate with some fans more.
I know, I enjoy the references.
See?
In fact, one of the villains is straight up David Bowie. Design-wise, not personality-wise.
Straight up David Bowie.
I mean, seriously, his design is literally David Bowie.
Amazing.
Yes. Rest in peace, by the way.
Yep.
But anyway, back to part 1.
Yes.
This series, I enjoyed it. Here's the question, Mariya. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I enjoy it. So I feel like I would enjoy watching this more with somebody rather than by myself, because then I would just be whispering to myself, God, this is so extra. Oh my God, what is he doing? Oh God, why is he so stupid? You see what I'm saying? It would be so much more fun to watch it with someone than just by myself alone. Well, not alone, technically. I have roommates, but like They're not watching. They're just hearing me go, why are you so extra? Why are you doing that? Oh my gosh, that pose is extra. Like, you see what I'm getting there? This is a lot more fun to watch with someone so that you can make fun of their craziness while enjoying the show.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mariya, it only gets even more extra.
I know. That's what I said. We've reached station extra. This train has reached station extra, and it's only getting worse, better. I don't even know from here on out. From here on out, like I've seen stills that James has showed me about the stands, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, the colors. They're so poppy and so interesting.
Araki doesn't go half-ass with anything.
He does not. He's just all out on everything. He just color vomits and just is just happy with it. It's like, yeah, those colors don't go together at all. Perfect. That's exactly where that color should be. And it's amazing. God. It's very bold and very very courageous. A
character in part 7, which takes place around this time in the Phantom Blood in the 1800s, has a grill.
A grill?
You know, a teeth grill.
As what?
Oh my god. You don't know what a grill is?
I'm thinking of the thing that you use to barbecue other things.
No.
Oh.
You know how rappers will have gold teeth?
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
That has his name embroidered in gold.
No.
That's how extra it gets later on.
Oh my god.
On his teeth, Mariya.
On his teeth? Are you serious?
I am serious. That is actually a thing that happens.
Good lord. Okay, well, since we're on extra and colors, why don't we talk about the color scheme, James?
It's inconsistent and
lack
amazing.
Thereof.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I mean, there is some kind of consistency going on. Because when it comes to at least a little bit in the beginning when they're doing the parallels, the color is very sort of dark for Dio's backstory.
Well, whenever Dio is on screen, really, it gets dark.
Essentially, it's just very. It's interesting because they make everything else dark, but they keep his eye and hair color the same yellow or orange scheme.
Right.
And he pops out of that so much better because of that. Mm-hmm. As compared to when they do scenes with JoJo, because even though they maintain his hair color and eye color, because it's like a cool color, like blue is a very cool color, it doesn't pop out as much. No. Even in like contrasting background. So his doesn't pop as much or is not as impactful, essentially, to make you think that he's. I mean, Dio's makes him look so much more insidious and evil. Mm-hmm. Then it enhances his character and just sort of drives home the point that this dude cannot be trusted under any circumstances. Whereas with JoJo, he's just a character, and that's not the color scheme doesn't quite add that much to the character's dimension as Dio's color scheme does, which is really interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely a focus on Dio, let's be honest.
I know, right? He's just so extra.
I mean,
everything about him.
He's the longest running villain in JoJo. He does reappear in many different arcs.
I mean, when you become a vampire, do you really actually die?
That's fair.
Do you really actually die? Like, adding a vampire into a story, into a plot, means that you have a character that you can shove in anywhere whenever you like, even after they are supposedly dead, because they're vampires. Like, unless they've been blown to dust by the sun, it's best to assume that they're gonna come back. Like, that's the best way to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of like spy movies. If you don't see the dead body, they're coming back. If you don't see a body, they're coming back.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you thought it was dead? No. Did you see a body? Then he's not dead. Assume they're not dead.
Does that apply to ninjas too?
To ninjas?
Yes.
I don't know. Do ninjas like heal rapidly?
Do spies?
Well, no, but they always die in like weird circumstances. So apparently, like their car goes into the ocean or something, but they somehow still live because they're spies and can breathe underwater for decades, it seems. Or will sort of land on shore somewhere and have no memory of how they got there, and that'll be a whole new plot point.
We've gone off the rails.
We have, yes. Moving on.
Yes.
JoJo.
Let's just keep going about the production design.
And then in the intro song.
Ah, yes.
That was interesting because apparently they also have stills from the manga in the
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they animated
the
stills
intro
from the
scene,
manga in there.
which is really cool.
Very cool. I mean, if you know like those specific scenes, it's just like, ooh, that part, ooh, that part, ooh, that part, ooh, that
Also,
part.
the fact that there's a spoiler in the intro. There's a spoiler in the intro.
That's anime tradition, Mariya.
There's spoilers in the intro. I was like, what?
It's
But
a
yes, there were
legacy
spoilers in
series
the
in
intro. And then there was like how JoJo went Super Saiyan. And they had a very sort of Dragon Ball Z-esque fight in the intro, which is really cool and very interesting.
Yeah, this is kind of the most Dragon Ball Z it gets in JoJo.
Right.
At least, it's probably about this, and then a little bit. You got part 1, part 2 are definitely very Dragon Ball Z in certain parts. Once you get to the bubbles, though, then it gets a little, what the hell is going on here? And then at the beginning of part 3 is definitely very Dragon Ball Z, because that's about the time that Dragon Ball got really popular.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah. It's an interesting series.
It is. No, I would definitely watch it some more.
It's kind of like a tree. You can count the rings and kind of see a lot of the trends in manga. As soon as Dragon Ball got popular, the big macho muscular guys were unpopular. And so Araki changed his designs to make his characters a lot slimmer, a lot more svelte.
Right.
And then, yeah.
I mean, like, he's got the male anatomy, like, totally. It's like he looked at a sportsman who was doped up and was like, yes, this is what a man should look like, and decided to draw his main character to look that way.
Basically, yeah. It's kind of a reference to old strongmen pictures.
Right. And then Dio is a relatively... Well, he's still, like, broad in the shoulder, don't
Big
get me
man,
wrong.
macho man.
Yeah, but is comparatively more lithe, I guess. I mean, he's supposed to be more nimble.
Right.
To JoJo, because JoJo is the tanky tank, and Dio is the run fast, dodge shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is also very interesting that he turns into a vampire right after. Does Jojo get any powers?
He does,
Spoilers.
yes.
Interesting.
Dio gets the ability to shoot the liquid from his eyeball at people.
Ew, that's a weird power and kind of gross.
Yeah. I don't know if that's
gross.
in the anime, but that was in the manga.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was. Araki is a fountain of strange powers.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
His ability to make up just the most esoteric garbage and make it into an engaging and terrifying ability is admirable.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, he does try to like stab Jojo in the eyes so many times. Like, poor Jojo. This dude. Oh my god.
Yeah,
like, I started hating Dio so much. Like, I love him as a villain. He's a great villain. I love him as a villain. But I hate him so much at the same time.
Which I guess is a great villain there.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, again, like, I had considerable sympathy for him until he's punched Jojo's dog, and then I was like, no.
Oh god, that poor dog.
Also, can we talk about the blatant animal abuse that's in anime?
That never really ends in JoJo. There's always
like they roasted a dog. There was a cat eating a puppy.
Yeah, they really cut quick on that one. I don't think they wanted to show that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
It's just it troubles me quite a bit as an avid animal lover, which you already know, James.
But the cat won, so you should be happy.
That doesn't change the fact that a puppy died, okay? That is misrepresentation of cats. Cats do not do that.
On Ogre Street, they do.
Apparently.
You don't know what's in that water.
I mean, at least it's not turning the cats gay.
Wow. Okay, can we talk about this?
Talk about what?
Just okay, so JoJo as a series. How do I put this delicately? It's gay as fuck.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, yes.
Super gay. Like,
define gay.
Effeminate.
Uh-huh.
A lot of Araki's characters are very effeminate in their
demeanor.
Well, it's rough because it's weird. I mean, it's not weird. That's the wrong way to put it. It's interesting when you look at a lot of his designs and you have characters, like male characters, wearing lipstick and wearing high fashion clothing and posing in ways that you would normally see like a female character posed.
Yeah.
To accentuate certain body parts.
Yeah.
And
essentially.
And you see
when these guys, and I see where you're getting at, because like these characters are made to look burly and masculine, but then they do these things that are very characteristic of female characters and their posing and their sort of demeanor in terms of how they're drawn or made to stand, and these burly, huge men proceed to do the same. Not to say that they can't, it's that you don't see that, and that's why it's a little jarring to look at, or a little out of the ordinary and enough for people to sort of be able to pick it out and be like, this is not normal, but I like it.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say it's not normal. It's not
I mean,
typical.
it's not the norm. Yeah, it's not the norm. I don't mean like normal and
I'm
abnormal.
just
I mean like it's not the typical.
right.
It's not the norm of anime character creation.
No, it's very different from a lot of design philosophy when you're making a mass market product.
Right.
Especially in like a manga series, and this ran in Shonen Jump, which is the biggest manga magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got characters who have these really stark, unique designs that are, like I said, very feminine, very effeminate, but not in how they act or advance the plot.
Right.
It's purely an aesthetic. But I don't want to say there's subtext because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where to put JoJo in terms
I mean,
of...
I like it. I don't know. I like it. I guess it's interesting to see it, and very refreshing from the norm that we've been seeing in anime of a lot of fan service, and which we talked about quite a bit for the fairy tale episode.
Right.
But a lot of there wasn't really fan service in this show. It was mostly granted there aren't many characters to do fan service on. I don't know how to frame that.
I mean, did you
sentence or
see
thought.
Erina in that one-piece bathing suit? That was hot.
I mean, yeah,
And not even like a one piece, like a full-on
No,
like,
this
suit.
was like full on. This was time accurate. This was like the period accurate bathing suit.
So hot right there. I shouldn't say that. She was 12 at the time.
Oh my god, James!
I retract everything. I retract it all.
James.
I think she was supposed to be older at that point, but I retract it still.
Just for the sake.
I apologize. That was.
They're not drawn. They don't look like when
No.
James looked up Wikipedia and was like, "Oh, these people are supposed to be 12," and I was like, "Oh,
God,
wait,
no.
what?" I mean, that explains some of the extraness because tweens are friggin' extra as hell.
Yeah.
But also, what? That doesn't quite fit. But okay, cool. Whatever you want, guys.
Yeah. And I'm really trying to like rack my brain to think of like parts in JoJo that are fan servicey and the traditional fan serviceness, and it's really not.
Yeah, there was nothing in the show for either. Like, even though there were a lot of dudes, there wasn't much fan service going on, even in that sense. You know,
No.
like as though it was targeted, like fan service targeted towards women. Like, there wasn't.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of big, muscular, hot men showing off their bodies later on. I mean.
Oh, okay. I mean,
More
shrugs.
Shrugs.
I guess.
We don't have a Land of the Lustrous situation here where they're forcing in fan service, at least.
Right.
Yet, I mean, we only watched the first 3 episodes, and there was literally one female character.
Again, like I said, it's interesting. It's nice to see that. It's nice to see a little difference in the genre of anime.
Yeah, and I think it stays that way. I really can't think of any like stark fan services shots or points in the series. I could be wrong. I haven't read it in a long time, and I'm just now like rereading it. Mm-hmm. But still, it's like, and Araki, his female characters are interesting.
I only saw one, James.
Well, Erin is cool though. I like her though.
I mean, I liked her. She was bold, man. That's all I gotta say. She was bold. That was a bold reversal of a power move, is what that was. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So
really
I wouldn't say that he would be, at least from what he's done with Irina, I would not say that he makes powerless characters. I mean, it is set in the 1800s, late 1800s, so you're kind of stuck with that
right.
time period where that is essentially what it would be inaccurate for him to try and force female characters to be not typically to have female characters to do stuff that they weren't usually doing at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I would say that his female characters are either two extremes. They're either, well, I guess three. They're either really important to the plot and do stuff and contribute to it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
They are either just there and exist as characters usually.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're kind of not important to anything and just exist for some reason.
Right. So like any other characters, like even the male characters, there are those that are important, driving the plot, those that are there around, and those that have no.
Well, there's a weird point in part 3 where there's this girl that they pick up on their journey, and she's just there for like a couple chapters and then just is gone for the whole forever.
Like she just disappears, like no explanation.
Kinda, yeah. And they give her like a name and a backstory, and it feels like she's gonna join the crew, and then it's just gone.
She's a poof gone.
Just poof gone. It was weird.
Interesting. Part
3 is just it's kind of a mess because it's just a crap ton of ideas thrown at the wall, and some of them stuck. Because this was when he was transitioning into the stand era. And so he was just like, I gotta figure out what is popular to stay around.
Right.
Because things are rapidly changing around me.
And I don't know what to do.
So here's this giant ass story about people traveling to Egypt.
Oh my god.
And every arc is just, I mean, a new stand user and something. What do I do? Oh, an electrical socket is a stand user now. There's literally a stand which is an electrical socket, by the way.
Oh no. What is going on in your head?
I don't know.
Dude.
It was an interesting time.
But
yeah, there's just those characters. Yeah, I guess he just makes characters. Some of them are well written, some of them are not.
Right.
But like I said, I'll have to go back and see, but I'm pretty sure he avoids a lot of the traps. Probably the biggest disappointment was Liz, who's in part 5, which is a character who sticks around with the characters. She gets her own stand, but she never really does anything, and she's kind of the damsel in distress.
That's just tragic.
It is, but then in the next part, it's just, I'm going to make my entire cast women.
Amazing. Let's just wreck the entire stereotypical roles. Let's just do this.
Pretty much. I mean, they get a bunch of dudes that follow them around too, but for a long stretch of the series, it's just the 3 girls.
Interesting.
As the main characters.
Is a villain a girl too?
No, he has not done a villain who is a girl. Yet.
Catfight!
Oh, I wish. No, the villain's a man, unfortunately.
Okay.
There are a lot of women who are villainous in that series.
Right,
there
but not
are
straight up villains.
not straight up the final villain.
Uh-huh.
We'd never had a Dio yet.
Right.
Who is a
So like a
girl.
female Dio
Yeah.
named Deidre or something.
I think his mom has a name, but I can't remember it.
I feel so bad for that woman. Poor thing.
Yeah.
She got stuck in a trap that was fatal as hell.
Yeah, she gets screwed over a lot.
Poor thing.
Poor thing.
Imagine how Dio would have turned out if his mom managed to live.
We do find out.
Ah, I see. Okay.
It's not much different.
God damn it, Dio.
Oh, I don't want to spoil it because that series hasn't been translated or put into the anime yet or translated yet. So I'm not going to spoil it.
Don't spoil it then.
I will not.
No spoilers.
Anyway.
Is
Back
there
to the
anything else
anime
you wanna
series.
say?
What's that?
Is there anything else you want to say about the anime?
Yes.
'Cause I'm out of notes.
Okay. I will say that I really enjoyed it because it does feel like a JoJo fan created it. There's a story that I don't know if is true, but JoJo wasn't translated in the West for the longest time because Araki, you know those little the kanji that'll flash up every now and then in the series. Those are sound effects.
Oh, okay.
Araki is I don't want to say he's a perfectionist, but he takes like every aspect of the manga very seriously.
Right.
Especially the sound effects which show up.
Right.
And if it were translated, they were going to remove those sound effects.
No.
So for the longest time, he was like, no, you can't have my manga because those sound effects are there for a very important reason and they're part of the aesthetic of the manga.
Right.
I don't know if that's true. I'd like to believe it's true. I heard it a long time ago.
Right.
But now they are translating it and they have not removed the sound effects.
Well, they shouldn't.
No.
Because that's cool. I like it when they showed up even in the anime.
Yes, it's a very cool little effect. And it's one of the things, like, you know, a standard person just adapting JoJo wouldn't bother to put those in. A fan would know that those are very important, and Araki takes those very seriously, so I better put them in.
Right. Interesting. That's very interesting. Little trivia there.
Yes. So I really liked it because it feels like a JoJo series made for JoJo fans and not to please a general audience.
Right.
I mean, it's caught on to the general audience because it's really well made. And they've seen this unique aesthetic and these interesting characters, and they've latched onto them for good reason.
Yeah. Which goes to show that if you stick to your individuality, people will catch on eventually, especially if it's done well.
Yeah,
and you're not sort of trying to chase down fads and fill a sort of mold of quote unquote success that's already been being used by everyone else.
Which is ironic because JoJo is made to fill a mold and a fad.
Yeah. Amazing.
But no, I don't know.
But it has become something else.
Yeah, it has become its own unique thing.
Yeah.
Which,
it's just a mishmash of a lot of different time periods of fads, and therefore has become a gigantic Frankenstein that everyone loves.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I'll stick with that.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And it isn't compromising anything, at least in these 3 episodes that we watched.
Yeah.
Unlike
the 3 episodes
Land
were
of
really
the
good.
Lustrous, which...
that disappointed us a little bit. I mean, James was pretty disappointed because he read the manga.
Right.
I was disappointed for other reasons.
Yes.
But also still disappointed.
But that's a series that clearly compromised on some stuff that it really shouldn't have.
Why you do this?
I don't know.
Tragic.
So yeah,
But, James, how do you rate it out of 4 fingers?
I will give it 3 fingers.
Okay. I would give it 4 fingers, because I had fun.
Okay, cool.
What are we watching next, James?
Oh, we're wrapping up Anime April with the juggernaut that is looming over anime right now. No, it's not One Punch Man.
No, it's not.
It's the other one.
The other Punch Man.
The other Punch Man. It is My Hero Academia.
Yep. We're going to watch My Hero Academia, so be excited for that one next week.
Yep, we're not going to talk a bit about My Hero. Maria's just going to read her fan fiction.
I am not. I
On
don't
air.
write fan fiction.
You literally told me you wrote fan fiction about My Hero.
I said I was thinking about it. I never actually started at all because I had life stuff to deal with.
You did have life stuff to deal with.
So I never actually started writing fan fiction. I have never written fan fiction.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, you should try it.
Should I?
I mean, you know, if you don't think that it's... Well, I guess 50 Shades of Grey got published, so... what do I know?
Oh my god. Yeah, let's not go down that route. Yes, catch us for My Hero Academia next time.
Yep. Watch JoJo. It's on Netflix right now. American Netflix. I don't know.
Yep.
Is it on Canadian?
It's on the Canadian one too, yes.
Okay, it's in the North American Netflix. Check it out. It's really good.
Yep.
Unless it's not. In which case, sorry. No, it's really good.
We thought it was good. You should watch it.
Yes. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, James.
What?
Did you hear?
What?
Satan's opening his new theater in hell.
That's where we live.
And our listeners can join us for just $1.
That costs less than the Netflix subscription I steal.
So head over to patreon.com/chaoticsilly to join us for our exclusive podcast, Movie Night in Hell.
It's like Hell in a Cell, but with movies.
So join us for our screening of Lou Over the Wall in Hell.
Bring popcorn. No free refills.